Welcome, everyone. My name is Mickey, and my co-host today is Stephen. And today we'll be doing the MyEventRunner webinar. I put it in brackets. We refer to MyEventRunner a lot as MER. So if I say MER today accidentally, it just means MyEventRunner. And so we'll get underway. So what will be happening today is that we'll be running through a formal presentation for today's webinar. What that means is for the first 45, 50 minutes or so, I'm going to be sharing my screen. We're going to be looking through the Club Runner interface together. And then Stephen is going to take over with some Q&A at the end of the session. So speaking of Q&A, in Zoom, there is a chat section, which a lot of you are already familiar with. Please do use the chat, no problem. However, if you need to ask a question either during the webinar or during our Q&A period, please use the Q&A box. If you go to Zoom, along the bottom of your Zoom settings is an icon or button that says Q&A. Please type your questions in there because the Q&A section, actually everything really, is being logged. So if there's a question that we can't get to today, we're going to go back and we're going to check everything in the Q&A section. So if you have questions at any point in time today, please put them in the Q&A box. Stephen will be answering them live. We'll begin. Let's get underway. I just want to give you a very brief overview. Today, we'll be covering MyEventRunner, meaning we're going to be creating an event from scratch. We're going to be, this includes setting up packages and add-ons. We're going to look over some registration questions. We're going to send out invitations, and then we're going to review some of the reports after we do 1 or 2 test registrations. I will say this, I apologize in advance if we go a little bit over time. I'm going to try my hardest to not to, but there is a lot of ground to cover in MyEventRunner. We're scheduled for an hour. My apologies if we go a little over that. We'll jump right into this. So I just want to start with a brief little introduction. So your club or district is looking at or may already have MER or MyEventRunner. Okay. Typically speaking, your club or district needs an integrated payment provider. In Canada, the payment provider that integrates with Club Runner is called Worldline. It used to be called Bambora. I think it actually still is for a little while. They're changing names. In the US, integrated payment provider is Worldline or Paya, P-A-Y-A. I think some of you may know the word Sage. That was their former name. And then we have international options for, Australia, Sweden, so forth. If you don't have an international option, in other words, if you don't have a payment option, MyEventRunner will likely not be active in your club or district website. So this is something that is required. You're going to need an integrated payment provider. I also want to talk briefly about some differences in your club or district website. What we're discussing today in MyEventRunner, it applies to either a club or a district, both. You might have Event Planner, and you'll have MyEventRunner. We actually have 2 event software packages. Why? Why are there 2? So Event Planner, all I'm going to say today about EVP or Event Planner, it's our simple event solution. You don't need a payment provider. You can set up free events. It's for RSVPs. It's for very simple events. When I say simple, it's one price. All tickets are $50 or what have you. What we're discussing today is MER or MyEventRunner is the complex event solution, multiple price points. We're going to talk about early bird deadlines. We're going to talk about all kinds of special things you can do in MER that is not possible in EVP. So if your club website has both Event Planner and MyEventRunner, remember, for the simple, straightforward events, maybe there's not even a cost, you should use Event Planner. For what we're going to be doing today, the more complex events, we're going to use MyEventRunner. So I'm going to jump right into it. And I've already logged in to my Rotary Club, okay? So if you're not sure how to log in, we do have some previous webinars that kind of go over the basics of how to log in, but I've logged in to my club's website. I'm part of Rotary Club of Kipling. This is not a real website. All the data you'll see today will be fake. Now, I'm logged in as a site administrator. On a club or district website, especially something like MyEventRunner, it's not open to everybody. All your members can't go in and start creating MyEventRunner events. On a club level, generally speaking, you'll need a club executive or website admin access. And on a district level, there's if you're a district administrator, or there's MyEventRunner special access. In other words, let's say I work for a district, or I'm a member of a district, I can actually have specialized access just to use MyEventRunner. If you don't have this type of club or district level access, you cannot access MyEventRunner. So if you're following along and the menu items that I am clicking on are grayed out, you don't have the access. Please talk to your club or your district. Okay, so I'm on the site administration page. I'm going to use the top blue tabs here, My Club Runner Communication. I'm going to go to events. I'm going to click on the blue events tab right here. There's several options. We talked about event planner and all these other options. I'm going to click here on the gray MyEventRunner options. So it's events and then MyEventRunner, come to a different screen. So typically when your club or district signs up for a payment provider, such as Paya in the US, for example, that means you'll have access to MyEventRunner. You can create 100 events a year. So usually that's plenty for clubs and districts. We're going to start our first event. Now, actually, before I click this new event button to start the event, I want to just talk about these options. If I check this box, show past events, our system hides older events. Let's say your club has been using MyEventRunner or MER. I'm going to start saying MER. Let's say your club has been using MER for years. You don't want to see, or you don't need to see necessarily your events from 2017 or from several years ago. So this will show you the old events. We don't have any old events to show, but if you check the box, you can see if your club has used MyEventRunner in the past. And the events for page is 25 and no events found. I'm going to click on new event and let's begin creating an event. So I'm here in the first screen. This is the MER setup screen, okay? And basically the first option we have, do we want a pro or do we want a light event, okay? And I just want to spend a second on this. So the way that MyEventRunner works, you choose what option you want, pro or light, per event. It's not a blanket statement, meaning I'm always going to use MyEventRunner or MER Pro. I'm always going to use MER Lite. You get to choose what you want per event. The difference, MER Lite means it's got fewer features. You don't always need all the features of MER. You might only need some of them. So MER Lite is a way for you to basically use a slightly stripped down version. The cost for MER Lite, there is no extra cost. Now, if you're using Paya or Worldline or what have you, you're going to be paying credit card transaction costs. So those costs won't go away. But if you use MER Lite, then there's no club runner associated costs, meaning you pay whatever the credit card transaction amounts are. The Pro version is the full version of MER. All the features are unlocked. You'll have access to everything. This is the option I'm going to choose right now. Excuse me. The Pro version not only gives you all the options in MER, we're going to look at all of them, but also it costs $1 per registration. That's not $1 per person necessarily. We're going to see today, I'm going to set up registrations so that one registration can actually equal 4 people. So that's $1 per registration. And it could, that means it could cover 4 people. So I'm going to choose MER Pro. Let's begin with the MER name. We are going to be doing today, oh, I had it for a second, there it is, my Kipling Rotary Barbecue. Okay, so we're going to be setting up a barbecue inside MER, okay? And this barbecue is going to have several options. We're going to go through this. This is my event name. I'll make this just a bit bigger. Hopefully you can see this okay, all right? My barbecue, the event code, what is that? When you are using an online payment system, for example, Worldline, the code gets sent to that system. And so it's useful to come up with some kind of code so it corresponds to what you can see in your Worldline or Paya virtual terminal. And I'm not going to get into virtual terminal today. Some of you might actually know what that means already, but your the payment side. So I'm going to put in a code for this. I'm going to call it KPBBQ. Let's just say 2023 or this is just a simple code, no spaces. We'll keep it short, right? We don't have to make this very complicated. We'll keep it a simple code because actually I'll put in 2023 because this is our annual barbecue. All right, currency, we're going to do Canadian currency today, but you can set up MyEventRunner, MER, with various currencies. We're going to try to keep it relatively simple today. I'm choosing Canadian dollar. Language, we're not going to make it multilingual, anything like that today. We're going to make it English. I want to talk about these options, the event start time and the enable form start time. What is the difference? So the next set of options is the event start time. So this event is going to take place on July 2nd. So what I'm going to do, and I'm sorry about this, I had this little strange little display issue as I was testing today, is Sunday, July 2nd. Okay, so that is when this event is occurring. It's going to happen on a Sunday in July. You know, it's a nice weekend in the summertime, and it ends on the same day. So I'm going to just do this, and I apologize about this display issue. What are the timings? I haven't put in a timing. Let's say the barbecue is from 12 noon, okay? And we're gonna go, I don't know, until 6 p.m., okay? This is when the event starts and ends. What is this? The enable form? When can people start registering for this event? I want them to start registering right away. So I'm going to enable the form for today, April 21st. Okay, so let's get this going right away. And let's just say 9 a.m. because I want people, I'm going to try to, get this form up and running as quickly as I can. When should the disable form option be? When should people stop? It should be the day before the barbecue, and you can make this anything you want. Maybe you want to stop registration a week before or a month before. I'm going to do it the day before. So on July 1st, I'm going to click the calendar. I'm going to go to July 1st and, right here. And let's just say 11 p.m., right? That's fine if people want to register the night before, because I'll be bringing lots of hot dogs and hamburgers and all that. We'll go over what all this entails. But I'm going to disable the form. In other words, I'm going to turn this off on July 1st. I can't disable the form while the event is running, right? Just to be aware of that. Okay, let's look at all these options that we have here. So allow Club Runner member login. What that means is your login is always optional in MyEventRunner. You don't have to turn this on. In other words, if you uncheck this, if you turn it off, then people will just put in whatever they want. My name is Mickey, here's my email, my phone number, what have you. If you check this box, I don't have to put in my name, email, phone number. I can put in my Club Runner login and it retrieves my information from the database. So I'm going to turn this on so you can see what this looks like. Allow duplicate registrations. I'm going to turn that off. Do you want your members or people, do you want them to register more than once? Sometimes you do, and so sometimes you'll turn this on. For today, I'm going to turn it off, but you can turn it on when you need to. Allow the user to edit registration? No. Let's say I register for something, I change my mind, and the next week I come back, I edit my registration. Some cases you may need that. For today, I'm going to leave it off. Like I said, we're going to try and simplify this as much as possible. Publish registered attendees list means show the list of people who have registered. We're not making emails and phone numbers and all that public. It just means that, we're showing that other people are coming to this thing. I'll turn it on so you can see what it looks like. Tax inclusive pricing. Nope, we're not going to even worry about that. There's options here. Show on, calendar, events list, homepage, bulletin, and district calendar. So let me take these first couple, the show on calendar and homepage and bulletin. I have just begun to create this event. I don't want to display anything yet. I don't want anything to show up anywhere yet. It's not that I'm done. I've barely started. So I'm not going to check any of these boxes. Once I'm done setting up this event, we'll come back, we'll turn this back on. Show on district calendar is kind of a special option. You can take a club event, and if the district is also with Club Runner, you can display this MER event on the district site. The only thing I want to say about that is hopefully that's handy to you. Maybe that'll come in convenient. While you have the ability to display something on a district site, a district website admin has the ability to say, no, I don't want this club event shown. So they actually have the ability to turn off the event. I just want you to know that. But if it comes in handy, you can, if it's a large event, you can show this on the district calendar. I'm not going to today. Let's scroll down. There's more options. This is for pro events only, but I've selected MER Pro. So the number of registrants, do I want double or single? Double means registrant and partner, whatever that may be, your wife or spouse or what have you. We're going to keep it as single. In other words, one person will be registering, but they can still register on behalf of, we're going to make it actually behalf of their spouse or behalf of their family. And we'll get there, but I'm going to keep it as a single today. You can register essentially 2 people at the same time. I'm not going to. Okay, we can have a separate group for guests. In other words, maybe there's special guest pricing. We're not going to do that today, but you can do that if you want, let's say, Rotarian and non-Rotarian pricing. Once again, we're going to try and keep things simple today. Do you want to hide all pricing and payments? Definitely not. This is not a free event. I don't want to hide anything. And payable by check, yes. I want, pardon me, I want people to give me a check if that's what they want to do. Okay, so please make check payable to Mickey. And we don't need to make this any more complicated. And you put in whatever address you need to here. All right, so I'm going to click save. What I've done is I've just created the base for my event. So we've just created some of our basic options. Okay, this pops up every time you click, the first time you click save. This event is in draft mode. Okay. Draft mode means it's still being worked on. It's not ready to accept registrations. And I've turned off. I'm going to scroll down for you, right? You can see that it's not showing on the calendar homepage. It's basically invisible. I need some time to work on this. I can't just display it right away. Okay. We can publish this event. Publishing means, hey, we're ready. Let's go live. We're not there yet. So let me just scroll down, show you these features again. Okay, so these are all the options we've input so far. And let's keep going with options. Now, there's something called an event contact. And I'm going to add one. Who is the person kind of going to be in charge of this event? Or basically the person, if someone has questions, who can the members of the public ask questions. I'm going to click add new contact. Now, normally this will be a member of your club. I'm going to do something just a little bit different. If you choose a member of your club, like, okay, here's the list of my members and I can choose Misty, for example, and that's fine. When you do this, sometimes it will display, for example, Misty's address information. And sometimes that event chair contact is like, I don't want my home address or business. I don't want any of that shown. In this case, excuse me, Misty is my contact. Even though she's a member, I'm going to classify her as a non-member. Why? Because when I do it this way, because Misty's a member of my club, you just saw her name in the list of members. Oops, spelled her name wrong. This way I get to choose the bare minimum information display. I basically show just Misty's email. I'm not showing anything else, okay? And that's it. And here, let me make this like that, okay? I'm not gonna put in her telephone. Misty said, don't put my address in. So when I choose non-member, I get to a bit more control over what information I show of the event contact. So Misty's my event chair. She's primary contact. I asked Misty this question. Do you want to be emailed every time someone registers? That's what this option means. Copy primary contact. Does Misty want an email every time somebody registers for this event? No. So I'm going to uncheck that. And then she's like, no, that's fine. I know there's reports in MER. I'll come check the MER reports. And then I've received consent from this person. Misty's a member of my club. I'm just going to check this box. I'm going to click save, and I've saved my event contact. She's the one who's the main point person for this event. I am going to skip step 2. Okay, so this is step 2. We used to have this several years ago. We're actually just working on potentially just phasing this out. I'm going to skip step 2, design and customize your form. We're going to just create everything from scratch today. So just if you're not sure what step 2 is, just skip it. Okay. There is a public URL already made for this event. If I click on this public URL, it says big long crsadmin.com. If I click on it, I can't register yet. Remember, I haven't set this up. The event is still in draft mode. I can't actually use this just yet. I'm going to close this browser tab. Let's go back here. Let's save my events. Before I do, here is the publish event button. We're not ready. So let's just pause. I want to save Misty as my event contact. So we're going to click save. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and you can see that Misty is my event contact, and we're ready to move on to some more steps. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, and I want to talk about the left-hand side. When you're in MER, you navigate around the system by using this left-hand column. All of the different ways or sections of MER, they're all here. We're going to focus first on the form designer section. We're going to talk about all the other sections, reports and communication. I just want to focus on form designer now. We are designing the event form right now. So let's actually do that. And we're just going to work our way down this list. First thing, I'm going to click on header. The header shows up at the top of your event. Okay, right now the event header is blank. You can add images, you can add logos. I'm not going to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. So here is my event header. Right now it's empty, and I can add images and all this stuff. I'm going to focus just on the content, meaning this is where I can type in anything I want. I just want to do this. We won't, like I said, we'll keep things simple today. You can, of course, add logos, but I'm going to click this little edit button beside the word content, and I'm going to scroll down a bit, and you can see I have a nice little text box where I can type in the name of this event. So this is Kipling Rotary Barbecue. And then on the next line, I'm going to put July 2nd, 2023. Actually, I should put Sunday because it's on a Sunday. I'm going to make Kipling Barbecue bold. I'm going to make everything a little bit bigger. And you can see where I'm going with this. And I'm going to center this. So let's center. Okay. And you can, of course, make this fancier. You can add whatever you want. I'm done. I'm going to click save, and there's my event header. I'm not going to make it any more sophisticated than that. You can, of course, add logos and images and whatever you'd like. Okay, so that's my header. It's relatively simple, but it's very functional. I'm going to scroll down in the form designer section. After header comes attendee groups. I'm going to click on attendee groups. Okay, so you can have different categories or attendee groups. Just as an example, maybe your event needs a category for Rotarians and a category for non-Rotarians, okay? And in fact, you know what, just to illustrate for today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a Rotarian pricing and we're going to have non-Rotarian. So this is how attendee groups works. You can split people up into these types of categories and have different pricing. So Rotarians will pay a little less, non-Rotarians will pay a little more. Or another way to use attendee groups, child, adult, senior. There's three attendee groups. Different pricing for children, for adults, and for senior. You can use attendee groups however you'd like. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to take all attendees and I'm going to click the edit button, okay? And I'm going to say Rotarian. So I'm just going to highlight this. I'm going to delete and I'll put it in Rotarians, okay? And the group code will be Rotarians. I'm not going to go fancy here with the code. Rotarians, okay? And there's my first attendee group. In other words, Rotarians will have a specific price point, lower than non-Rotarians. So now let's add another group. And my non-Rotarians, okay? So these are going to be the people who are not members of my club, right? And my code, once again, not going to make it anything fancy, just non-Rotarians. I have two price points, one for Rotarians, one for non-Rotarians. Let's see how this works now, because I basically have two different ways to charge people, right? There is, in every section, help information, this little box right here. Okay, you'll see this kind of as a common theme. Once you see other screens, there's help information on other screens as well. Okay, I'm going to add a quick little help blurb about the attendee group. I'm going to say, please choose, please choose whether you are a Rotarian or non-Rotarian. Okay. And I'm going to keep it simple. You can add more help instructions. I'm going to click save. And now I've got a little help to provide the user to say, are you Rotarian or are you non-Rotarian? And that's attendee groups. I'm going to scroll down. The next section after attendee groups is time ranges. Let me click on time ranges. So the time ranges, what this means is you can set pricing and have it change over time. Another word for this, what we use sometimes, is called early bird pricing. Let's take this as an example. So the event is July 1st. We want people to register though, and we want to, we want to incentivize people who register early. So the event is July 2nd. If everybody registers, say by June 1st, then they'll get a lower price. And if they register after June 1st on June 2nd, then the price will increase a little bit. I'm going to click on Add New Milestone, okay? And what I can do here is I can pick a date, all right? So I'm going to click here on this calendar picker, and I'm going to go to June 1st, right? So here's what I'm doing. I'm saying there's pricing before June 1st, and then there's pricing after June 1st or June 2nd. So if I click save, what I'm actually saying is, and this comes up and it actually reminds you, what I'm actually saying is you have to specify the pricing. What this means is you've basically now got more categories of pricing. You don't just have Rotarian and non-Rotarian pricing. You have pricing before June 1st, right? Let me just scroll down so you can see the whole screen. And then you have pricing after June 1st. Now, what I'm going to do is, only for the sake of time, because I'm watching the clock, I'm going to get rid of the early bird pricing. I'm just going to delete this because I don't want to make this event too complicated. You can add all these layers. Remember I said MER is complex. Let's take a district conference as an example. Some districts use MER for their district conferences. This is why you can have a myriad of options, including this type of early bird pricing. I'm going to delete this only so that I can work through my pricing a little quicker. Okay, so I'm going to delete this early bird option. Okay, we're not going to use it today. I just want you to know that it exists. And by the way, you might be thinking, well, that actually sounds interesting. I want to learn how to use that. So for today's tutorial, there will be certain things that I'm going to try my hardest to cover, but might not get all the way through. I'm going to show you where our MER manual is. After this video, we're going to go to a manual. I'll make sure you have the know how to get there, because the manual will cover anything that I just didn't have time for today. Okay, so that's the event. Sorry, let me scroll down. We just talked about time ranges here in the form designer section. I want to talk about promo codes. I am going to create a promo code. A promo code is like a digital coupon. So you know who's coming to our barbecue? The district governor. And I don't want the DG to pay. So I'm going to give her, I'm going to give the DG, she's going to get a promo code emailed to her. Let's figure out how this works. So I'm going to click add new promo code. And here's how to set this up. Okay. What's the name of my promo code? Well, the name is 100 off. Why? Because the way the promo codes work, you can reduce people's pricing, or you can just eliminate their pricing altogether. So let's take an example. Let's say your tickets are $50. In this case, our tickets will be $50. I don't want the DG to pay a dime. So I'm going to email her this special promo code. The promo code, the name of it is 100 off. The code is also 100 off. These don't have to match, because, you know, maybe the code can be something more complicated, right? With like special characters. I'm just going to keep it simple today. And we're going to see where we can input this 100 off. Okay. This is a, what type of promo code is this? What kind of discount or offer are you giving this person? I'm going to click here and I'm going to give them a percentage discount. Okay. So I'm going to, you can do flat amount, like you can say $10 off or 20 or whatever. A separate price group, what that type of promo code, they get a special pricing, like, you know, so maybe the district executives pay less or whatever you'd like to do. Once again, we're not, just for the sake of time, we're not going to cover that. I'm going to just do percentage discount, 100% discount, done. When the DG, and only the DG, puts 100 off at the time to go pay, she doesn't have to pay, because we'll just take the 100% of the cost off her ticket prices. Okay, you can have start dates and end dates. In other words, these digital coupons can expire. So they might be really handy because, hey, use this, have an offer, use a promo code. It'll expire on, I don't know, June 15th or something. I'm not going to put this in. You can have unlimited promo codes, meaning I could use 100 off essentially for everybody who registers. Don't want that. I'm going to have one promo code available. Why? I'm going to email it to my DG. She's going to use it. Done. No more promo codes after that. I don't want everybody coming to this thing for free. You can have, of course, more promo codes available. I'm going to choose one. I'm going to click save. Okay. And so here's what happened. Created a promo code. This is the code. This is not the code. This is the name. Maybe I shouldn't have named them the same thing. But just by coincidence, the name and the code are the same. But this is what the DG needs to know. When the DG signs up for MER, there will be a place or a little box for the promo code. She will type in or paste in 100 OFF, and then she doesn't have to pay. All right, because it's 100% discount. And so far, nobody has used this code yet, and we only have the one code. Let me scroll down past promo codes. Okay, let's talk about packages. Okay, so here's my packages, and let's talk very briefly about what a package is. So a package is an item in MER. What is that item? It can be a lot of different things. Let's take our example, our barbecue example. So here's how I'm going to arrange this, okay? Or here's how I'm going to kind of work out the pricing. We're going to have 3 packages. These packages are a single person, a couple, you know, husband and wife or whatever, and a family, okay? A family of 4, or let's actually say family of 4. The packages can be anything you need them to be in terms of what kind of pricing do you have, right? We're going to use packages. This is kind of a sneak peek. We're going to use packages in conjunction with the next thing, which is add-ons. We're going to get to add-ons, okay? But I'm going to click add new package, and we're going to put in some packages. So here's my first package, which is a single ticket, okay? I'll just call it a single barbecue ticket, okay? For one person only, okay? And it includes hot dog, hamburger, and a drink, okay? And of course, this will vary depending on your event and so on. Okay, so this is just for one single person. They just get that as part of their single ticket. So they'll come into the door, hey, you paid for the single ticket. Okay, so this is how a package works. You type in the package name, okay? You put in a description. You can make things red. You can make things, all kinds of, or bold, or all that stuff. I'm going to keep, once again, I'm going to keep things simple. Just going to have a simple description. Okay, so let's move on to tax. Just to say that I'm not going to use tax. I don't want to, you can, of course, have tax in your events. Just to make things a little less brief today, I'm not going to cover that. I want to talk about max registration allowed. Okay, how many people can, how many tickets do you have? In this case, for a barbecue, we're going to buy as many, we're going to buy a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers. We're going to try to have extra. Let's talk about a dinner at a restaurant, which has a cap or a size limit. So maybe you're selling dinner tickets and you have 100 total dinner tickets. That means you could sell the dinner ticket as a package, and the max registration allowed would be 100. Meaning, as soon as 100 of these tickets are sold, this package is closed. No one can register for this package. That is what max registration allowed means for a package. It means this is how many of this item that I have a maximum of, okay? In this case, I'm going to leave it blank. If you leave it blank, there's no limit. So, I'm hoping, 50, 100 people show up to this barbecue. So I'm going to leave it empty. Package code, I definitely want a package code. So package code, remember, if you're using Paya or what have you, this gets sent to the payment service. So package code is single ticket, okay? Once again, keep it simple. So now if someone pays, the associated code with their payment will be single ticket. How many number of people are covered? 1. We're not going to do 2. We're not going to, like I said, I want to make sure we have, we don't go, we're okay for times right now. Okay, so we're almost done setting up this package, okay? Remember I said we got 2 different price points, Rotarians and non-Rotarians. Rotarians will pay $10 and non-Rotarians will pay $15. You can come up with whatever pricing you want here. I'm just choosing something so that we can say that Rotarians pay less than non-Rotarians. Okay, this is, by the way, an honor system. We'll see how this works. Someone can choose whether they're Rotarian or non-Rotarian. I'll show you how that works during the registration. For now, for this package, my Rotarians pay just $10 for the single ticket, and the non-Rotarians will pay $5 more. I'm going to click save, and I've created my first package. It's just a single barbecue ticket, okay? I'm going to add a new package, and let's talk about a couple, or I just put the word barbecue ticket for 2. Okay, spouse, partner, whatever. I don't want to, we'll just keep it simple like that. For 2 people, includes a hot dog, hamburger, and drink for each. You can come up with a better description, but basically, it's basically 2 hot dogs, 2 hamburgers. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so there's my description for my second package. I'm going to skip any tax. I'm going to skip any max registration. Package code is, I'm sorry, what did I call this? I call this ticket for 2. So let's just call this ticket for 2. All right. So the number of people covered is actually, Okay, I'm going to say number of people covered 1. Why am I doing this? I just said this is for 2. And I'm sorry, I kind of painted myself into a corner here. We're not going to, you use this, choose number of people covered 2 when you are registering 2 people. We've decided today not to register, get the registration for me and then get all my registration information for a partner. We're not going to do that. We're just going to have 1 registrant. What I mean by registrant is we're going to get the information for 1 person. That person is a registrant, and they are the ones whose information we're storing. We're not going to store the registrant and their partner for this event. So that's why I'm choosing 1. And I apologize. I kind of painted myself into a corner. I'm trying to paint myself into a corner so that we can keep going. Okay, Rotarians, this is a couples package, so they'll pay 25. Non-Rotarians will pay 30. Okay, and click save. And then the last ticket I want to create, I'm going to add another, my final package is for family of 4. Okay, oops. Family of 4 ticket, or I'll say barbecue ticket. Okay, so includes 4 of each, hamburger, hot dog, drink, what have you. I'm going to keep it short because I'm looking at the clock and I want to make sure we can get some Q&A. I'm going to skip taxes, skip this, skip package code. I'm not going to skip, sorry. So this is family of 4. There's my package code. Number of people covered. Sorry, I'm just doing 1 today. Like I said, we're going to keep it relatively straightforward, right? For non-Rotarians, it's $45. For Rotarians, it's $50. Okay, I'm sorry. For reverse Rotarians, it's $45. Non-Rotarians pay $50. For family of 4, I'm going to click save. There's my 3 packages. Let's just take a brief look at them. So the way that packages work is every registrant must select a package. So these people, when they start registering, are they just coming as a single person? Are they coming as a couple? Or are they coming as a family of 4? Now, that's not everybody. That's not all the cases. What about family of 5? What about 10 people? What about, so let's talk about add-ons, additional tickets, okay? This is a package. Everybody must select a package. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to add-ons, okay? And I'm going to add an add-on. What is an add-on? An add-on is an additional ticket item. The way that add-ons work is that you get to choose the number of add-ons you'd like. Let's create an add-on, okay? My add-on is going to be for a hot dog ticket, okay? All right. And you're buying 1 hot dog. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I am now selling individual tickets for these items, for a hot dog, for a hamburger, for a drink. Okay, and this is what an add-on lets you do. I can now buy 1 hot dog ticket, additional hot dog ticket, I'm sorry. I can buy 20 additional hot dog tickets. So let's keep going with this. Okay, so this is my hot dog ticket. The user will be buying 1 hot dog. Okay, what's the code? The code is hot dog. All right, once again, keep it easy. Max registration allowed. I'm going to leave it, but quantity limit per person. This is a new option that I didn't have in packages. Okay, quantity limit per person. What that means is how many of these items do you want the person to buy? If you leave it blank, I could potentially buy 1,000 hot dogs. You're leaving it empty, meaning there's no limit for the person, because while a package, you just select it once. An add-on, you type in a number. So I want 1 hot dog, or I want 3 or 5 or 10. So I'm going to say that 10 is the limit. So, person can buy up to 10 extra hot dogs. You may disagree and want to have it a higher number. We're just going to keep it at 10 for today. Okay. And for Rotarians, what did I put? The hot dogs are $4. For non-Rotarians, $5. Okay. Actually, we'll make it a little bit cheaper. That's kind of expensive for a hot dog. Let's make it 3 and 4. All right. So I'll click save. Okay. There's my add-on additional hot dog ticket. Let me add a new add-on. Okay. Next one is hamburger. Okay. And oops, spell it right. So this entitles the person paying for this for one. Maybe I should put the word additional. So these are all additions, right? That's what the add-on means. Let me scroll down. I'm going to keep the code simple. Hamburger. I should spell it right though. Hamburger. Okay. Quantity limit per person, same. They can buy 10 hot dogs, 10 extra hamburgers. Okay. And for this, it's 4 and 5. Okay. So Rotarians pay 4, non-Rotarians pay 5. Okay. Last thing is drinks. So, and of course, you know, Pepsi, whatever, Coke. I'm just going to call it drinks, right? It's one drink. Maybe I should really, I think I'm rushing through the description. Let's say, please choose the number of extra drinks you would like. I actually should have put this for my other descriptions because I now realize this is going to make more sense when you see the event, but I'm going to use this as my description. Please choose a number of extra drinks you would like to purchase. Okay, because that number could be 0. It could be a family of 4 and they're fine with what they get. Okay, so the code is drink. And then same thing, 10. I'm going to max it out at 10. Now, if you put 99 here, of course, that means the person could buy 99 drinks additionally. And then the drinks, we'll keep it pretty low. We'll keep it $1, or, you know, maybe just have cans of pop or something at the barbecue. I'm going to click save. Okay. So let me just review. I want to move on and do a few more things, and I'm watching the clock. And so these are my add-ons. I'm going to scroll down. I'm actually going to backtrack a little. Let me go to my packages. Okay. So packages, the user must select one of these packages. There's no option here. Are you going to be just one ticket? You're going to be ticket for 2 or family of 4? Okay. On top of these packages, let me scroll down. I'll click on add-ons. I've now got additional options, right? I can buy the individual items, and that's what an add-on is. So let me keep going. I'll scroll down. Okay. After add-ons is something called a questionnaire. Okay. So a questionnaire is what it sounds like. You can ask your registrants questions, any questions you'd like. So let's take this as an example. I am saving, because I decided not to make this a double registration option. I'm saving the registration name and email of one person, the main person registering. And if you remember, I had a number of people covered one, and I'm trying just to make everything simple as one. You can ask, and it can be optional. I'm going to click add a question. Okay. The type is going to, this is how the questionnaire works. I'm going to add a question. And first thing you have to do, what is the type of question? True, false, long text, short, or selectable? I'm going to do short text. Okay. In other words, the answer to this question will be in a short text format. You can make it true, false, or options or something. Is it required? No. What is my question? Please list the names of the people you are bringing. Okay, optional. Okay, if people want to tell me I'm bringing my son, you know, Fred, and my daughter Susie, and my wife, and whatever, great. If they don't, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to click save, and now I optionally have the name of, or could have the names of some of the people coming. Sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not important. And then I want to add one last question. Okay. And the only reason I'm asking this is because, you know, I just want to show you, and we'll move on to the next section, but I'm going to add a second question. Click on type and then click true, false. Okay. Is this required? Let me ask the question first. You can decide for yourself if it should be required. Do you have any food allergies? For this one, I'm going to make it required, because if someone have a gluten-free or diabetic or whatever, then, you know, there might be some issues. Okay. And I just realized when I was writing this out before the webinar started, I actually need 3 questions. Okay. I'm going to click save. Okay. So do you have any food allergies is required. I'm going to click add a third question. And I'm sorry, I just realized when I was designing this that I that I didn't. So here's what I'm going to do. What if someone answers yes to food allergies? You don't actually know what the food allergy is. So here's my third question. Short text, it's not required. If you have any food allergies, please list them. Please list them here. Okay, I'm going to click save. Let's just take a look and see what we're doing here. Okay. I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked save twice. I'm going to just delete this. Okay. And hold on one second. Pardon me just for a moment, please. I just want to make sure. I think I clicked a little too quickly. There it is. Okay. So here's my 3 questions. Okay. List the names of the people I'm bringing, optional. Do you have any food allergies? If so, please list them. Okay. The questionnaire can be anything you want. You can add all kinds of other questions. This is what I want. You can add more. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go to something called a standard questionnaire. So I'm going to click here. Okay. And what this is, a standard questionnaire is what everybody needs to put in. I need your email, I need your name, and what other information do you want to put in here? So let's just take a look and see the questions that are listed as standard type. We have first name, last name, badge name. I'm actually going to uncheck badge name. I'm not going to get into what that means. When you uncheck, when you use this box to uncheck an option, you're turning that question off. Okay, so email, definitely I want that. Club name, it's for my club, but you know what, I'll turn it off. If this were people are inviting people from other clubs, maybe I'd leave that on. Preferred phone, sure. Secondary phone, nope. So I'm going to turn off some options here. Okay, so I don't really need, for this event, I don't need anybody's address. So I'm going to turn all this off. And I'm going to keep my standard form pretty simple and pretty straightforward. You can turn all of these options on. In fact, let me just finish turning off all these options, state, province. In fact, after I turned off all these options, I can add another question. This is not the more advanced questionnaire where I asked about food allergies. This is the standard questionnaire, meaning everybody will need to answer these questions. So I could add a question, for example, where did you hear about us? Or, something that you maybe want to ask everybody who's registering. So I could add another question to my standard questionnaire. For the sake of time, I'm going to move on. So that's my standard questionnaire, and it differs from my regular questionnaire. The last option here is payment. Okay, so I'm going to click on payment. And this is where the integrated payment provider comes in. Right now, I haven't chosen whether I'm using Paya or Bambora, so I'm using Worldline, okay? This is the payment option set up with my club website. So I'm going to choose Worldline. And I already mentioned that it's going to be payable by check. I'm going to scroll down. There is some help information here. I'm going to leave this empty because I really want to show you how this looks. So I'm going to click save, and I am aware of the clock, by the way. I apologize if we go over time, but this is me now. I've now selected Worldline as my payment option. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. So what we've done is we've explored the form designer section. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to scroll up. And I want to talk about adding a registration. So we're now going to explore this current event section. This is the event that we're editing. Before I choose setup or add registration, let me just show you what the dashboard is. I'm going to click on dashboard. The dashboard is essentially a grid of who purchased what. Right now, nobody's purchased anything. Everything's zeroed out. But, how many family tickets have I sold? Have I sold any so far? How many individual hot dog tickets, and so on and so forth? So the dashboard comes in really handy when the event starts growing and you may have 50, 100 plus registrations. That's what the dashboard is. If I click setup, you might have remembered this setup screen. So we already went through this. Okay. I'm going to click now before I click add registration. I am starting to get this event more final or finalized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to publish this event. Now, I do see out of the corner of my eye, I know someone asked, these options, why do we turn them off again? Shouldn't they be turned on? Remember, I wasn't ready to turn them on. I'm still not really ready to turn these on. So here's what I'm going to do. These options show on my homepage and calendar. I'm going to leave it off just for a moment. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to publish my event. What does that do? I'm going to publish this event, meaning I want it to go live, but I'm not showing it on my calendar, homepage, what have you. This event is published, but invisible. Okay, I'm going to click publish event. It says, are you sure you want to do that? Because we're going to go live if you click publish, but I want to see what I have so far. I'm going to click OK. All right, and this is going to publish the event. What publishing means is let's start, we can now start taking registrations. Okay, so I'm going to click, actually before I click add registration, and I'm sorry, I kind of teased you with that. I'm going to scroll down because this event is published, but it's invisible. It's not on my homepage. It's not on my calendar or my events list. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click the public URL. Remember when we weren't ready, we couldn't register. If I click it now, this is what I'll see. This is my event, and I want to just spend a second just going over this, okay? So here's how this works. This is the registration screen that members of the public will see. You do not need to have a Club Runner login in order to register for an MER event. Let me repeat that. You don't need a login to register for these events for MER. You see, this is a word that maybe we should make bold or red. The login for Club Runner is optional. If I have a username and password, fantastic, I can sign in. If I don't, it doesn't matter because I don't need, sorry, I typed it in, so now it's saying it's required. Sorry about that, but I don't need to type anything there. Let me prove it to you, okay? My form, this is the standard questionnaire. Remember you saw me unchecking all those boxes? It keeps the standard questionnaire very short, okay? Mickey Smith, my last name is Smith. My email is mickey@example.com. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, and now I'm done. The phone number, I didn't make it required, so I'm not going to put one in. I agree to store my information on Club Runner. That's what this box is saying. Who am I? What is the group I belong to? Am I a Rotarian or a non-Rotarian? I'm a non-Rotarian in this example. Okay, so I'm going to choose non-Rotarians. That's automatically going to give me the non-Rotarian pricing. So let's go select some options here. Okay. And now we get to our packages and add-ons, and I just want to scroll down just a little bit here. Let me just go like this, and I want you to see how this works, okay? Here's my packages. So I've set up my packages. I cannot, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I cannot move forward until I choose a package. I don't have to choose add-ons. Remember, add-ons are optional. I don't have to type anything here. I'm going to try to answer questions. The questionnaire is the next step. If I try to go, it says, sorry, you have to pick something. You have to pick a package because you can't move on. You have to buy something here. So I'm going to scroll down. Just for the sake of this registration, I'm a single registrant. Okay. I'm going to scroll down. Do I want anything optional? No. It's just me coming. I'm fine with one hot dog, one hamburger. Sounds great. I'm not going to buy any add-ons. I'm going to answer some questions. That's the next step of public registration. I'm going to click on add registrations. And now I need to formally apologize. I'm very sorry. We are going to go over time for this. I'm going to keep going because this is being recorded. I want to make sure we cover our bases here, but I apologize for going over time today. If anyone needs to leave, I know it's 4 p.m. Please do. You will be sent, you'll be emailed recordings of all the changeover webinars. So I apologize to anyone who has to leave. Thank you to anybody who has the opportunity to stay. So I'm going to keep going. This is the public registration questionnaire section, right? It's different than the standard questionnaire because these have a required question. I'm asking about allergies. Now, remember, once again, if I didn't have the food allergies question, and I see that tiny little R, if I didn't have this as required, I could just move on. But I made this question required, so I'm required to answer it. I don't actually have to answer the other two, right? So I can just say, do I have any food allergies? No, and then I can move on. I'm actually just going to do that, okay? And I've answered the required question in the questionnaire. This is the payment screen for public registration. Look what I have. I have a nice little box for my promo code. I'm obviously not the DG, so I'm not going to put in the promo code. But what I am going to do is I'm going to either pay by credit card or pay by check. I'm going to choose pay by check. In other words, I'll bring a check to the event. You may decide not to have a pay by check option on at all. In other words, you're forcing people to pay by credit card. It probably makes your club treasurer's life a little bit easier because the automated credit card transactions, they're all automatic. But you know what? I'm going to pay by check. I'm going to keep scrolling down this page. You can see that on this final registration screen, it lists everything that I've chosen. Who am I? I'm a non-Rotarian. I choose a single barbecue ticket, right? My grand total is $15. One, by the way, if I have any questions, talk to Misty, right? Here's her email. I'm going to click pay by check. And it'll say, are you sure you want to pay by check? Yes. Okay. And now I've completed my registration. So here's what happens when I complete my registration. Okay, I get an email to my email address saying, thank you for registering. We basically get a virtual receipt, right? And because I chose pay by check, the system is saying, if you want to pay by credit card right now, you can, and we'll mark you as paid if you pay by credit card. But no, I'm going to pay by check. I don't have, let's just say I don't want to do credit card. And if I scroll down further, it's just kind of the same summary screen where I can see what have I chosen and all my options. And I will get this emailed to me, okay? I'm going to close this tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up, all right? And I'm going to do this again in a different way. When I used the public registration, let me actually go down. Okay, I'm sorry for scrolling up. Let me go down. I use the public URL. That's one way to register, okay? You can remember this event is invisible, meaning it doesn't show up yet on my website calendar because I haven't chosen that option. So the nice part about this is I can copy this URL, okay? And I can send it to, say, my club board, board member, one of my fellow colleagues, and say, hey, can you try this out? Tell me how this works, right? Or tell me if this works okay or you want any changes. So it's really prudent to create the event, make it invisible, and send this kind of, we'll call it a secret URL just for now, send this off to anybody you want. They can register. And then when everything is good and that your little test person has said, hey, this looks great, we're ready to go. Let's say we did that process. I emailed this to one of my board members. She checked it out for me. She actually registered. She said, yes, I like this. Let's turn this event on. So I'm going to scroll up and here's what I'm going to do. I want to show on calendar, events list. I want this to show everywhere. You know what? Just for the fun of it, let's show it on the district calendar. Why not? My board members have been receptive to this event. They want as much attendance as possible. I'm going to choose show on district calendar as well as all the other options. Let me scroll down. Let me click save. Okay. And now this event is public. So it's not only published, meaning the event is live, it is public, meaning now anybody can go to my website and register. Let me prove that to you, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm sorry, hold on. I'm gonna go here. All right, I'm gonna go back to the administration page right here. And I'm just gonna show you that this is now showing up on your website calendar. So I'm going to click, I would normally click here to go to my homepage. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go open link in new tab. Okay, I'm going to open my homepage. Excuse me, sorry about that. And click on calendar and event calendar. Let me take a sip of water. All right, so this event was July 2nd. Let me go to July. Here's, it's a little hard to see this blue box, Kipling Rotary Barbecue 2023. And here's my event. So now this event is open to the public. Anybody can register for this event. Remember, Club Runner login, optional. So this event is ready to go. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to register as the DG. My first name just happens to be district, and my last name happens to be governor. All right, and I want to show you how the promo code works. Okay, and I'm a DG at an email. Okay, so I've received consent. I'm definitely a Rotarian. I'm going to select the options. Do you remember the code that I created? This is kind of a little test. That code should be not too easy to guess. I'm going to bring my family of 4. I don't know, I'm going to choose 3 of everything. So I'm going to get 3 additional of everything. By the way, I chose 30 here. If I try to input this, it says, nope, you get up to 10. You can only choose up to 10. So I maxed out at 10. You know what? Since let's make this bill nice and large. All right, so I'm going to pay $125 because of all the things I've purchased. I'm going to click answer questions. Remember, the only thing that's required is, do you have any food allergies? No. My family and I, nobody has food allergies. I'm going to continue to the payment selection. This is where the promo code comes in, and I just want to show you very quickly. Do you remember what that promo code is? Because the way that this works is I emailed the DG, and I said, please don't register. Use this promo code. Make sure you confirm you get this for me. Now go ahead and register. On the payment screen, you'll see a box right here that says promo code. In the promo code, type in 100 OFF, hit apply. This $125 charge is now going away. So the DG who had a $125 charge has a charge of 0. All right, so that's, and remember, promo codes can be 50% off or what have you. Okay, I just wanted to show you that because I kind of love promo codes. They're really fun. All right, so I don't actually, well, it's $0, but I still need to register. So you know what, I'm not gonna put $0 on my credit card, so I'm just gonna pay by check. That way it'll allow me to finish this registration. And there you go, the district governor has now registered for free, right? But of course, if I scroll down, I'm not getting 0 options. I bought a lot of things. I bought like 10 hot dogs and hamburgers and all that stuff. Okay, let me close this out. And I do want to get to Q&A. And like I said, I might be worth apologizing a second time. Sorry for going over time. I'm going to go, sorry, I did that very quickly. Okay, I closed MyEventRunner, which brought me back here to my homepage. I'm gonna actually leave my homepage open. It might come in handy later. I'm gonna click this browser tab. It's gonna take me back to the member area. I'm gonna click on events, and then I'm gonna click on MyEventRunner. Let's look at some reports. Okay, this is my barbecue. I'm gonna click open. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scroll down, and I want to talk very briefly about the reports section. So we have all these reports. Before I talk about reports, maybe one of the first really good reports, which is the dashboard. Remember before it was zeroed out. Sorry, excuse me. I'm going to click on dashboard. Okay. And I now have some filled in information. All right. So, so let me check this, include guests. And what I'm doing is, okay, how many people have registered for all these things, right? So far, someone has bought a family of 4, that's my DG. Someone has bought a single barbecue ticket, that's me. Someone has bought, a hamburger ticket, they actually bought 10. So this is kind of handy as to say, how many of these items have you sold? Okay, so that's the dashboard. I'm actually going to kind of move down here in order. So the next section is registrations. I'm going to talk about that before I talk about reports. I want to click on view registrations. It's actually one of the more important sections. And like I said, I'm sorry, Stephen, I'm going to make sure you get some Q&A time, but I apologize. Okay, so I'm here in registrations. I have 2. My DG has registered. She has paid $0. She bought like $100, but it didn't matter. She used the code. This non-Rotarian person, Mickey Smith, they're going to pay by check. They paid $15. Why is Mickey yellow and DG is not? Yellow indicates the person owes money. This person, Mickey, paid by check. They didn't pay the $15. Notice their balance owing is 15, right? So they haven't paid yet, and the yellow just indicates they haven't paid. Okay. If I click on View Attendees, which is the next section in a View Attendees, I'm going to scroll down. You can see who the registrants are, right? Every registrant has a unique registration number. This is how you refer to that person. All right. And then I'm going to click on View Payments right here because only one person has paid so far. So I clicked on View Payments. I'm going to scroll down. Oh, nobody's paid. So nobody's paid yet. Even though 2 people registered, my DG got the promo code and I'm going to pay by check. So there's technically no payments yet. So there's no payments here. Prepare name tags I'm going to skip because I really need to give Stephen some Q&A time. I'll keep going in order because we're not actually too far away. The communication section, okay? And I'll just talk very briefly about it. You can send emails out of MyEventRunner. Why? Why would you do that? Let me click on email service because you can send communication through regular Club Runner. You don't have to send it out of MER. I'm here in the event email service. I'm going to click compose new message. Okay. Here's a really nice thing I can do in MER that I can't do in my regular Club Runner email, right? When I send to my members. If I click here beside attendees, I can send an email to both of the people who have registered. That's Mickey Smith and DG. To the paid people, right? That's technically my DG. All right. And then the unpaid person, see it says show one. That unpaid is me. That's Mickey Smith, right? That's the person who hasn't paid yet. And I'm sorry, this is still loading. I'm going to, okay, so I'm going to close this. Not only can I choose by registrations, I can choose by the packages and add-ons. So what I mean to say is, let's say I want to send an email to everybody who bought drinks tickets, for example, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? We're thinking of opening up, more drink options. So in other words, you can choose or target special subgroups of registrants, not just, hey, I want to send an email to everybody registered. I want to send an email to all the people who chose the single barbecue ticket option. I just want to target them, or I want to talk to all my families, right? The family of 4. I want to send them a special greeting, email, what have you. And so that's what you can do here. I'm going to scroll down. Okay. I'm going to click go back. All right. And I'm going to go to, I just want to mention some reports here. So maybe the best thing to do here so that Stephen has some Q&A time, I'm going to click on confirmation report. The event can generate reports for you. It can say who's registered, what did they purchase. You can export to Excel. You can do all kinds of stuff. I may have to leave it at that just so I can let Stephen do some Q&A, but there is a reports section. And I think I know how to end so that Stephen can get to Q&A. There's reports section here. Because I have gone over time, let me show you how to view all the things that I didn't have a chance to go over. Most of them were kind of advanced topics like reports and all that. I'm going to click this tab right here, my phone, and I'm going to go to clubrunnersupport.com. Let me repeat that. That's clubrunnersupport.com. Okay. So I opened a new tab and I went to clubrunnersupport.com. MyEventRunner has a guide. Let's make sure you can find it by putting it right into the video. So I'm going to click here on guides. So I've gone to clubrunnersupport.com. I'm going to click on guides. We have several guides. Here's one on MyEventRunner, the second one. If I click on this, you can, the stuff I didn't get to cover, for example, reports, right? I'll make this bigger. I don't know how well you can see this, okay? I can click here and I can start learning this step by step with screenshots. So this is our online manual. And I guess I'll apologize again. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to run through everything. We ran through a good chunk of it. If you can get this far in this video, you can create an event. You can open it for registrations. You can send it out to your members. So we've got a good understanding of MER in this webinar. For all the things that I wasn't able to cover, you'll go to, let me click on this, clubrunnersupport.com. You're going to go to clubrunnersupport.com. You're going to click on guides right here. And then it's the second guide. You're going to click on MyEventRunner. And now we have a step-by-step tutorial. Okay. And now I'm very sorry, Stephen. I definitely want to make sure you get some Q&A. So I will let Stephen take it away with Q&A. Sorry for going over time. Please do let me know, Stephen, what questions you'd like to answer. Oh, sorry, Stephen.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted still. I was in the process of answering a question from Rick. He says, what if someone paying by check mails it in prior to the event? Do we manually need to go in and mark them paid? So I believe you can add their payment in for their registration through MyEventRunner.
You can, and that's a great question. And if it's okay, I'm just going to show that that's a great question, Rick. I'm going to go back. I'm sorry. I moved away from clubrunnersupport.com. This is my browser tab. I'm going to click on this browser tab to go back to MER. And I'm going to go to view registrations. Okay. Mickey, they mailed a check. So now I got a check in my hand for $15. I'm going to deposit it in the bank. I'm going to open Mickey's registration because he still owes $15. Okay, so I'm going to click open. It's going to open up his registration, and I'm going to show you how you can basically record manual payments. Remember, this is non-credit card payments. You don't have to do this for credit cards. I'm going to scroll down Mickey's registration. Okay, and we have a nice handy pay by check button. Let's pay Mickey off because he gave us the check. So I'm going to click pay by check. I can also choose pay by cash. I can choose pay by credit card. I can issue refunds. There's all kinds of options here. The option that I want in the payment history section, let me just go up a little bit. I'm going to click pay by check. And I'm going to say that Mickey gave me a $15 check. So the amount was $15. The reference number or check number was, I don't know, some kind of check number. So Mickey paid by check. You don't really have to write that in, but I just want you to know you can add a description. I'm going to click pay. Mickey's paid. He is no longer yellow. Let's go confirm because this now gets logged as a manual payment entry, and maybe other people give you cash or what have you. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. In the payment history, I now have a check payment logged, including the date. Let me scroll up. I'm going to click view registrations right here. Okay, so click view registrations on the left side, and Mickey is no longer yellow. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to let the screen load, but Mickey is no longer yellow. He's just like my DG. He's paid off. Okay, thank you, Rick, for the question.
We did get a question from Sandy. I've never received this question before, so I was wondering if what is Club Runner's default font and size? Oh, Mickey,
sorry,
I think
I was muted. Excuse me. So that's a great question. Default font and size, we don't have one per se. Okay, so that's actually a challenging question. I'll try to address it briefly. So I'm going to go to my homepage right here. I'm going to click this browser tab, and I'll just click on the home. Right, I'll go to my homepage. Our default fonts and size, it varies on your public homepage. There is none. There's not like every website in Club Runner has this font, has this size. In Club Runner, we have themes, website themes, meaning the font and size will change depending on the theme you have. So for a public homepage, The font and size, it's going to be different depending on the theme you have. I'm going to click here on the member area. The member area, let me click here on admin. I'm going to go back to my admin screen. I'll make this actually quick. The member area, default font and size, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Every club and district and even zone website looks like this. I don't know exactly what font it is, and I don't know exactly what size it is. For a public website, we have no default font and size. It depends on the website theme you choose. Okay, but that's a great question.
We got another good question from Caroline. What is the difference between short and long text in the questionnaire? So I from what I believe is that they both hold quite a bit of text. It's just one is for short answers and one is for long text, but I think they both have the same character limit.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question too. I will have to say, because this is being recorded and I'm not sure. I don't exactly. I'm sorry. I'm here editing the event. Sorry, I don't want to speed up too much. I'm here editing the event. Let me scroll down to questionnaire, because that was a great question that was asked. This is a short text. So let me just click this. I'm going to edit this short text. How long is short text? How much text does that mean? I'm going to say at least, you know what? I don't know. So at least several hundred characters. That's a pretty vague answer on purpose, because I'm not sure. But we increased the limits long ago. So it's short text is not like a sentence. It's quite a bit of text that you can put in the box. It's at least a couple hundred characters. I don't know past that answer, but thank you for asking that, because we really need to work on a better answer. But in short text or long text, people will have a good amount of space. It won't just be like one or two sentences. They'll have maybe even a couple paragraphs to put in short text.
We got another question from Rick. We use Paya. What fees do we save by using MER Pro?
What fees do you save? So if your club has Paya, you'll always pay the credit card amount, whatever Paya charges, whatever their transaction fees are. I don't know you'd save any money. Maybe I hope I'm not misunderstanding the question. So we're going to take the case, your club, two things. Your club has Paya, so you're paying whatever fees to Paya that is. If you're using MER Pro, you're also, on top of Paya's fees, you're paying Club Runner $1 per registration. If you use MER Pro, you're still paying the Paya fees. You're technically paying two things now. You're paying the Paya fees, and you're paying Club Runner $1 per registration. If you use MER Lite, you're just paying the Paya fees. There's no Club Runner fees. I hope that makes sense. I don't think there's any savings involved here. It's either with Pro, you pay $1 per registration. With MER Lite, you just don't pay anything to Club Runner, but it's always the credit card fees.
Yeah, I know MER Pro does have extra features compared to the Lite version. I'm just gonna link in the chat the both versions. There's a table there that has all the Lite and Pro version features there. We did get some good feedback from Chris. He was wondering if we could input images into the add-ons, which I don't believe is an option, but I'm gonna take it as feedback and get, because it is a good feedback item.
Okay, now that we're and these people, thank you so much for our audience for staying. I'm going to give you an advanced tip. So here's the official answer: no, you can't add images. Here's the unofficial answer: yes, you can add images. Let me do this. So if you are familiar with HTML code, if you click the source button, and you don't have to know how to do this. If you don't know HTML code, you can just ignore whatever I'm saying. But you can add HTML code if you're, kind of familiar with it. You can actually add in if you know that there's an IMG tag. So the short version is yes, you can add images. It does require a little bit of HTML code knowledge. We will definitely take that great feedback to be like, no one should know how to use HTML code. We should have an image button somewhere here. But the short answer, no. Long answer, yes. You can kind of add in images if you're a more advanced user.
Yeah, I was going to pass on the feedback of just having maybe a button beside the source button for like an image button, just so you can easily just import it from your device. We did get a question from sorry, Diana, but she had a question that one of her events was stopped registering 24 hours earlier when it was set to midnight. So I was actually just going to follow up with Diana after the webinar, so we could look a bit further into that. And that's all the questions I actually see right now in the chat and Q&A.
All right, fantastic. It's okay, Stephen, if we start concluding, or would you like to do anything else, Stephen?
Oh, Rick just had another quick question. Maybe the savings was that you can register more than one person and only pay $1 as one registrant. Is that correct? So yeah, it's a $1 registration fee per person. So yeah, 53 people register for an event, it'll be $53 on the bill.
I'm gonna sorry, because it's an important question that Rick asks, and we might be misconstruing it. Maybe the savings was that you can register more than one person and only pay. Yes, okay. And I think Stephen answered it. I'm sorry, I kind of budged in my own head too. I'm gonna basically repeat what Stephen says. So Rick, you're right. $1 per registration does not equal $1 per person. A registration can cover 2, 5, 10 people if you wanted to. You just have to build your packages and add-ons like I'm doing right now, right? Let me go back to my packages here, because this registration, this single registration, I could technically buy tickets for like 10 people, right? I can buy a family of 4, and then I can buy like 10 more hot dogs and hamburgers and what have you. So there's one registration, like my DG, she bought like $100 worth of items, but the club is only paying $1 for that single registration, even though it covers many people. And I hope I wanted to make sure we answer that right for Rick. And I think I basically repeated what Stephen says, but thank you for humoring me.
Yeah, so I think if there's 4 registrations, like if 4 people are registered, then it'll be just the $1 for that. And yeah, that's all the questions I can see in the chat right now.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Stephen. So I'm gonna go and what we'll do is we'll do our conclusions. I just really want to thank all of you for staying later. One of the things we're refining is trying to figure out the timings. And next year, we will devote more time to this MyEventRunner webinar. I'm sorry we went over time. This should have been listed as an hour-and-a-half webinar. This is our fault. I apologize about that. I really want to thank all of you who decided to stay. And I want to thank everybody who came but had to leave early. I really want to thank Stephen for handling the Q&A. And just a few quick notes before we conclude. For any questions, big or small, doesn't matter, club, district, grants, zone, please email us, support@clubrunner.ca. We love getting your questions. Even if you're frustrated or lost, those are our best questions, because then we are here to guide you. You're never using Club Runner alone. Please email us anytime you're stuck with anything. At clubrunnercommunity.com, please join our online community. We have Rotarians from all over the world, not just North America, but all over the world on clubrunnercommunity.com. It's a chance for you to speak to all our worldwide Rotarians. And then the final thing, you may have already heard about it, but please do download our mobile app. It is absolutely free for iPhone or Android. It is Club Runner in your pocket. You'll have a club directory. You can even register for events, right? Like these events that we're creating. You can do that off your mobile phone. So please do check out our Club Runner mobile app if you haven't already. From myself and from Stephen, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and thank you for using Club Runner. Take care, everybody.